Crimson Clad.
With me, with Crimson Clad. Hello, babies. All right, so we're hoping that everybody finds their way in. I have raced home from work. I did so much prep today, so much work, so excited. Got the show ready to go, got here, made myself a wholesome dinner, have a sick playlist full of stuff, excited to see all of you, and then the station broke. Why? Question mark, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the station's broken. I am officially just completely bypassing it. All I did was went straight through and I'm restreaming to all of the different places that you can listen. So unfortunately, MSP Waves and the radio station is not doing the thing tonight. Why is that? I don't know. Do I care at this point? Absolutely not, because babies, we are live. So I will try to get a post together. I will try to get everything going. If you want to show up on the overlay, as you do, and as many of you are, I see Kratax and I see 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, and I know that's not his name, but he knows, and I know, and we know, and you know. And all of you are here hanging out. PZ, Eileen, whomever else it is that is out there, say hello if you're in one of the other chats. And then that way you could show up down here, but you can listen and watch wherever you want. So we'll get a feel for where everybody is, how everybody is, and we'll play some good music tonight. Yeah, so if you've never been here, my name is Crimson Clad, and every Thursday night at around this time, I play heavy metal for you. I put together fun, hey Mr. D, I put together fun playlists. We have a little bit of a session. We listen to very loud music and we talk a bunch of shit about a bunch of dumb stuff. And so for whatever reason tonight, thank you. Yay. Subscriptions are fabulous. We gotta get this thing. Eileen says, please tell me you're going to show us your Spotify Wrapped. You better believe it. I have already hooked up so that we can watch it on the big screen here. And I have to say, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I'm not embarrassed by it. Although sometimes, I do embarrassing things. So it's been a couple weeks that since I've been here. It is that period of winter, which is fantastic and fabulous and made for metal, but my work gets out of control. And so, big apologies to you guys because you're here every week and I'm not always. And that really sucks for you. And I super, super apologize. That being said, I feel like I'm a little bit more on schedule and hopefully on track. I do have a lot of stuff coming up, but Fullforce Radio is obviously a big, important part of my heart. So what are we doing tonight? Guys, it is an absolute shit show. There is zero rhyme or reason behind tonight's playlist. Why is that? I don't know. I basically picked up a bunch of stuff that I've been listening to, bands that I've been to see in the last couple weeks. If you follow me on Twitter, I shared a little bit. I was right in the front row at the rail for Cannibal Corpse, which was a sick show, Black Anvil. And also, of course, Katatonia over the weekend. And I am flying out tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm flying to Montreal and I will be going to see the Great Heathen Tour, which is Amon Amarth, Carcass, Obituary, and Cattle Decapitation. So, Cannibal Corpse was your first concert ever. Oh, and I have to tell you, George is still looking amazing. I mean, obviously, if it was your first concert ever, there's a good chance George wasn't the singer yet. But we can talk more about this. And we probably will, because I thought it was, I was going to do a bunch of work around this. And I had this crazy, crazy idea that I would actually do an entire playlist based on 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆. And I didn't finish it for this week, but I actually do have an 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 playlist in the works. And I can't decide if I'm really proud of that or not at all proud of that. Oh, and so if anybody could tell War Guy, 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, if anybody could just let him know where we're at, because we had to problem solve tonight. Very fucking silly. It's fucking silly, bros. So yeah, let him know how to jump in and join us. We'll get some more people hopping in and join us. Of course, you can be wherever you want to be every Thursday, every Saturday, whatever show you're here. And I'll probably get into some late night gaming streams and also probably some chat streams based on Hive that won't be scheduled. So I'm going to do my best to kind of keep a week-to-week schedule going. I haven't decided where I'm going to put it yet. where would you go if you were trying to find out whether or not I had a show? Where would you go? Where do you want me to put it? If you tell me, yes, gaming streams. I haven't had a lot of time to game, but I'm desperate to do so. And I'm starting to make time for things. And I'm starting to make time for downtime, because if not, I'll explode. That's what's going to happen. So one of the other things is I've been working on my PC. You can actually see behind me here. I'll bring this box over. I have been having a week. I stream no games right now. None. I have been intending to stream games since literally I started doing, oh, too much effort. Okay. That's sad. Bye-bye. Had him and lost him. All right. So listen. With that being said, I do kind of have a pile of stuff, and I am sort of this classic gamer, hey, JJ, that, grabs all sorts of new games and all sorts of fun. Like, I have The Forest, and I have Grounded, and I have a bunch of new sort of multiplayer games that I want to start. And you know what? Every fucking time I end up back playing, like, Witcher 3 or Skyrim again. God, I'm the most basic. But I do have a lot of stuff that I want to start kind of just doing. But that's not very full force radio. So anyways, it's on the list, and I'm going to start kind of falling into a time. I suspect it'll probably be like Sunday nights. It's my time to just kick back, pop an edible, and get destroyed in some vidge games. But listen, so there's a bunch of stuff going on. And yeah, one of the things that has been a nightmare about this last week is building this PC. I've already had this PC for a long time, and we'll probably have a whole nerd out video game PC building talk. But one of the things that was problematic for me was the motherboard that I was using in my PC was just, how should we say, not feature rich. And so there was a lot of stuff that was problematic, like on the top of my case down here, my IO and everything, half the inputs didn't work because I didn't have something to connect them to. I have a bunch of quite nice Halo fans that couldn't light up because I didn't have a fan header. So I got a new motherboard. Great. Except it kicked off the most nightmare week of my life. So we'll talk a little bit about that, because that was a fucking nightmare. And we'll also talk about the fact that I live in Vancouver. It's on the west coast, best coast, the wet coast, if you will. And we usually get summer forever. We don't usually get a lot of winter. We talk about it a lot on the show, how when we do get winter, it snows up on the mountains. And I can go visit the snow whenever I want, but it stays out of the lower areas and doesn't cause problems. Well, it fucking snowed. And it snowed a whole lot. Like a lot. So this last week has been chaos in the streets, even though a lot for Vancouver is like, I don't know, just under a foot, where other places in the world get 2-3 feet and they're like, yeah, whatever, just walk to work. So this week has been a week, babies. It's been a week. And I would just like to put a bunch of really loud, angry heavy metal in your ears, if that would make you happy. Now, I will say, I do have some really cool and weird stuff on the playlist tonight. I've got some 𝖍𝖕𝖆𝖆. I've got some weird sort of medieval-inspired metal. I have some kind of stoner stuff. I have some deep prog cuts. It is a weird list. There's absolutely no rhyme or reason other than this is stuff I've been listening to. And then yes, maybe about halfway through the show, we'll go through my Spotify Wrapped, and I will try and get it up on the screen so you guys can look at it. And I'd love for you to share yours with me, because I will say, and we often talk about it, Spotify does a great job at kind of pumping you up a little bit, right? Like Spotify's whole thing is they want to make you feel cool, so you will share your Wrapped with other people. You want to show off what you listen to, what you do. You want other people to think you are a cool guy who doesn't afraid of anything. All of that stuff, all that good stuff. You want to share it. And Spotify does the best it can to make you feel real good about yourself, so you will share it. And I have to admit, the word 77 inches in New York. 77 inches. Holy shit. Yeah, see, that's the difference between the East Coast and the West Coast. 77 inches. I've never seen that in my earthly life. What is that? That's like 6 feet. 72 inches is 6 feet. 6.5 feet. Most of us here wouldn't even be able to go outside. We just walk out the door and just disappear into a snowbank. This man will never escape his snowy grave. You just leave and disappear. Poof, gone. All right. So listen, I may actually try to do a post for tonight's show just because there's a lot of good music in it. And I'll grab some videos to share the PC. We'll talk a little bit about that stuff. And we'll see where she takes us. You just discovered Avatar. Oh, very fun. I will say, Avatar, listening to them, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. I went to see them live. And they blew my fucking mind. That was actually just a couple years ago here. It was on tour for their latest album release. And the stage was put together like a circus. And to start the show, the guitarist comes out and plonks himself down in a fucking throne. And he's politely shredding on the throne. Well, just like fireworks are spraying into the crowd. There's sparks going everywhere. It was wild. I'll try and find some images from that for you guys, because I have to say, if you are unsure about going to see live music, if you're never sure and you're like, ooh, do I like this band enough? I promise you, you do. Live music is so much better than listening to it. Now, if you're not a crowd person, that's fair. You can hang out on the wall. You can kind of just feel your way in. You don't have to be a crim and immediately dive into the mosh pit right into the middle and get myrtleized. But I do say, please, please, please take a chance. Take a chance and go see some live music one of these days. Even if it makes you a little nervous, find a nice, cheap local show and just go check it out because the vibes are impeccable and I bet you will love it. But Crimson Clad reminder, hearing protection. Very, very important. If you love heavy metal and you want to keep listening to heavy metal for the rest of your life, God damn it, wear earplugs in the pit. Nobody tells you this when you're a kid, and they should. Your hearing is precious. Protect it. I promise you, if you wear like some sort of hearing protection, no one will make fun of you, and it will not ruin the show. All right, so let's start with a bit of music because I need to eat. I made some tortellini. It's got a bunch of cheese in it, and if it gets too cold, the cheese will no longer be stringy and goopy. And that's soul crushing because you guys know I fucking love cheese. So we'll do the weird eating on stream thing. We'll listen to some music. We'll hang out. We'll have a good time. And you guys will get your fix of Fullforce radio before I head out for a couple of days. And I'll be back next week, of course. Maybe we could pull together the 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖆 playlist before then. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see how absolutely destroyed I get at the Great Heathen Army Tour. I'm not going to lie. It's been a while since I've seen Amon Amarth. I've not seen Carcass for a long time. I've never seen Cattle Decapitation. Very excited about that. Obituary on the list. What can I say? I'm going to get destroyed. I'm going to get killed in the best way. Okay, so I did mention that I have like some deep progressive cuts tonight, and I've kind of put the playlist together in a way that I'm going to space out some of the really heavy shit. And a lot of the heavier tracks are a bit longer, so we're going to kind of bounce back and forth. But I thought we would start with a track called Ride Into the Light. It's by a band called Spirit Adrift. I've played them for you before. They are a lot of fun. They got cool album artwork. They put out a couple of really great albums. I played a bunch off Enlightened in Eternity, and they put out one called Sorcerer's Fate, which I've played some tracks for you guys off of. Super fun! But they definitely have sort of a slightly fuzzy stoner vibe. They're a little more upbeat. They're hard rock. It's a great place to start. We'll have a lot of fun with that. We'll eat some food. We'll talk about snow. We'll scream at my motherboard. And we'll get everything going with Fullforce. Yes? Yes, let's do it. All right, hang on. Can we get there, though? Can we play it? Can we have it happen? And will it show up on stream? Uh-huh. All right, there you go. Spirit Adrift. You may actually be able to guess what the next track is. So we'll just switch away from this screen. And hey, welcome. So lots of people are starting to hop in. I'm stoked to see you guys. Hello, hello. So I'm sitting here. I'm actually eating dinner for once, so I'm not going to be a real crabby pants live on stream. My name is Crimson Clad, and this is Fullforce Radio. And we started a little late tonight, and we didn't get a notification out because the station just rejected my broadcast. I don't know. Ron's not around to help me, and genuinely not sure what's happening. So we said, fuck it, we'll do it live, and I just bypassed the station entirely. So there are probably some people who would like to... You're not bothering to sign up for Twitch. I'm sorry. It's a mess. Don't sign up. Don't do your thing. But yeah, so unfortunately, for whatever reason, Ron's not here, can't help me. I'm not willing to miss another show. So, here we are. Let me tell you a little bit about what the fuck happened to me this week. And it won't just be about the snow. So, I happen to have a really nice PC. Like, it is. It's a good PC. It's beautiful. I've been building it for a couple of years. And the catalyst was because in the middle of sort of the beginning of the first COVID slowdown misery extravaganza, in the middle of that, what ended up happening was my GPU died. Now, you guys might remember, that for a while there, COVID and crypto mining combined to make the worst storm ever. And you could not get a GPU if your life fucking depended on it. Now, I'm a graphic designer. I do rendering, website design, front-end design, photography, video and photo editing, asset creation by trade. Not having a GPU and not being able to use my home setup was not good. Yeah, you don't have to sign up to Twitch. And honestly, let's real talk before we continue the story. Many of you we've gotten to know each other because we're interested in decentralized platforms, or we're interested in alternative platforms. Twitch is a great place for a lot of people to be able to get a reliable streaming experience. They're big. Their distribution system works really well. But at the same time, they're really, really fucking predatory. They're really predatory. And, whether that's paying creators or whether that is, giving power back to consumers, the communities around them, they kind of stink. So yes, you can watch wherever you want to watch. You can listen wherever you want to listen. Twitch, fine. But if not, we've got Vim TV, which is Hive powered. We've got Theta TV, which is also its own blockchain alternative. I'm even streaming to trve, which is a small up-and-coming mobile-centric streaming platform that's really excellent. So the reality is you guys know, we've talked about this before. One of the big things that you have to do as a streamer is you have to get everybody in. You got to build the hype train. You got to get people, fucking rating your stream. You need lots of views if you want to make any money. I don't care. I mean, that would be helpful for me to stream more and to stream full time. And largely what I need is a community manager or somebody to help me. And I need to pay them. Any money I made would go into that. But I don't care if I don't. The rest of this is entertainment. It's fun. I've gotten to know you guys. I've been able to share music with you guys. It's the best thing in the world. And the thing that disappoints me is when I'm not able to be consistent with it. And part of that is because, well, it's really hard to put a ton of time into something that actively costs you money, right? So this is not where we're going. The reality is you are a big part of the show. You're a big part of whether it is you're just listening to radio, whether you're coming to a live stream, whether you're hanging out, whether you're writing, you're being part of the community, you're joining the blockchain, whatever. Your time is valuable as well. Just because you're here for me and maybe I can show you ads and make some money, or you can subscribe and I can make some money. The thing that doesn't get talked about enough is that you are incredibly valuable to me. Platforms need me to entertain you because platforms want to get at you. They don't give a shit about me. They want me to be the avenue into your hearts and minds, and you guys know this. So the reality is think about the places that at least give you something back. Do they protect your info? Do they give you control? Do they let you make a bit of the profit, maybe in crypto or their own tokens. Think about the places that actually value you as part of that equation. That's why I'm so big into Web3. And it's why if you come for like Cyberbuzz or some of my other talks when I'm out at conferences or I'm representing Hive or Web3, that's a really big, important thing for me, is this value thing goes both ways. So just remember what you're worth. And when you're hanging out here with me and I'm entertaining you, remember what you're worth, kids. So if you want to go to Theta, if you want to go to Vim, if you want to go to Trovo, if you want to go to one of those alternatives, yeah, do it. Okay, we got on a tangent. My GPU died in the summer, in COVID summer, in crypto miner summer, in you can't get a GPU unless you trade a human kidney for it. So I paid a lot of money and got a top tier GPU because literally that was really all that was left. Everything that was kind of more reasonable was gone. So at the time, I got basically what was pretty close to top of the line. I got a... Do I still have the kidney? I didn't say that, sir. You don't know. I could have no kidneys at all. You don't know what's going on in here. I could have no kidneys. I do have kidneys. I'm healthy, I promise. But the long and the short of it is I have a 3080 Ti, and that began sort of the rebuilding of my PC because the 3080 Ti was not going to be okay with my power supply. My fans were not going to be enough. I needed more RAM. And then, at that point, you're building a whole new computer. So I have a big chunky. Yeah, she's a beast. You can just see the corner of the case here. I don't think I could turn the camera to show you, but I have a Corsair case. It is the biggest. It's the 7000. It's beautiful. It's very pretty. But again, I had to get a thick boy because all of the things I had to put in this case. And it has been a constant battle since then. New motherboard, new this, new that, new whatever. And when I got the new motherboard, well then, hey, Boulder! Then my AIO didn't have cables long enough. And so I got to get a new AIO, and that's what this is. And so then I've got the new AIO, and it's got the Halo fan. So you know what? I better switch out all my other fans to match because I'm OCD that way. So now I have a really freaking beautiful computer. But holy single rail, I wish. Oh my gosh, my wish. But so I'm in a good place now. But this last week... Speaking of, looking for alternatives and taking good care of yourself and, recognizing your value, for this PC, for my work and for streaming, this PC is a Windows PC. Don't at me, chat. Don't chat me, don't at me, kids. It is a Windows PC. And there's a number of reasons for that. And I'm not going to get into them because I don't need to justify myself to you. But I know Windows, evil company. Terrible. Microsoft in general. And I'll say that again, ASMR style. Bone Dog. I love your name. Sup, Bone Dog. But yeah, like real talk. Extra ASMR right in your face. And that is because there are a number of reasons that are a lot... that are quite related to my work and some of the things that I have to do when I'm remoting into the company that I work for. And actually a lot of the website and things that we do, our database is in .NET, which is a programming language that is used extensively in Microsoft services, which is used extensively by my company, yada, 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 so forth, so on, etc. None of you give a shit. Windows PC. So here's a thing I learned this week, and that I am going to share with you because I very nearly hung myself in frustration in this room. And, no joking about self-harm, but honestly, the frustration was real. And I literally at one point just thought, I'm going to end this process. So you could code on your Mac. Yeah. And so the coding environments, no problem. And I actually do. Okay, real talk, I actually use a Microsoft product. They bought it. I use Visual Studio Code for most things. It's actually a great environment, but we digress. The nerds are taking over Fullforce Radio. This new motherboard. Here's the thing I didn't know. If you kind of come and hang out with me on the weekends, I talk a lot about sort of technology and disruptive technology. Wow, I talk a lot about OPSEC, operational security, and I talk about, don't give away all your personal information if you don't have to. Joke's on me, bitches. So here we are. Oh, Sean is judging me. He's judging me. I mean, I'll code in Notepad++ too. It's just what you got to do. Sublime text. Well, listen, I'm just a fake gamer girl and a fake coder, but I do real code. It's just, bits and pieces. Here's the thing that I learned. Microsoft, for the last couple releases of Windows, they're like, hey, just sign in with your Microsoft account. And me, I'm like, absolutely not. Fuck you. I don't want you connecting everything I do on my PC with, the Hotmail account I've had since I was, 10 years old. I don't want to kind of blur these lines. And anywhere that I can kind of break some of these large data collection ties, I do. I'm definitely not stymieing Microsoft, but I just said, listen, I'm not going to log in. I'm not going to connect the PC that I have to a Microsoft account. No problem. I'll make a new local account. I thought, haha, look at me. So here's the thing that Microsoft doesn't tell you, and just keep it in the back of your mind if you don't have this set up. I have a local account. Clay! Hello! Thank you for subscribing. You're just in time to hear me talk about how I just messed up my week in my computer almost irreparably. No, I'm not on Windows 11. I'm on Windows 10. And that was part of the problem. So here's the deal. Set up a local account. And I'm like, I don't want a password. Fuck you. I'm just going to set a PIN. Everything was fine. It was copacetic. I had my new GPU. The birds were singing. The sun was shining. The streams were streaming. The metal was metalling. Got the new motherboard. Rebuilt the PC a couple days ago. All of it. Took it apart. Perfectly cable routed it and whatever. Checked it to make sure it posted. And it posted. The twerks were twerking. All of it was happening. Checked it to make sure it was posting. No problem. Absolutely closed it up. Got to the Windows login screen and Windows was like, hey friend. I don't know who you are. And your PIN doesn't work. So, get bent. And I was like, huh? Interesting. Tried to log in with a password. Didn't make a password. Couldn't log in. Didn't accept a blank password field. Okay. All right. That's rough. Tried to get around this. Can't get around this. It turns out that Windows, since I don't know what, maybe 8, 10, has logged the serial of your motherboard and some of your hardware, even if you make a local account. Microsoft knows what account that local account is attached to. And if you change your hardware, oh well, get fucked. So now I'm like, okay. You're trying to tell me that the only way to fix this, because I'm on an older version of Windows 10, is I need to reset Windows because there are no security questions on Windows 10. So even with the later version of Windows 10 or Windows 11, if you have a local account, you don't have a password, for whatever reason you've changed your hardware, you're locked out, you set some security questions, you can change it. Not my version. Get fucked, Crimson Clad. What's that? You've got, absolute terabytes and all sorts of incredible, important stuff that wouldn't kill you to lose, but would probably make you incredibly ill. Yeah, fuck all that stuff too, and fuck the horse you rode in on. So now I'm real frustrated because the more searching I'm doing, the more I'm realizing there's really not an option around this. And so what ended up happening was I had to take apart the computer that I just built again. I had to rebuild it on the old motherboard. Then I had to create a new Microsoft account for myself. I had to add it to the PC that I was already on. I had to make that new account an administrator. I had to connect that to the internet, to the nernets, just like I didn't want to. I had to take the computer apart again. I had to rebuild it again. You see where we're going with this? We rebuilt the computer again. And then once I got the computer rebuilt, then I had to log in as the new administrator account, and I had to go through a back-end panel because half of the front-end panels didn't work because I wasn't on the newer version of Windows. I had to go in through a back-end command line panel and then reset with the new administrator account, reset a password for the old local administrator account. It made me jump through all these hoops. I had to rebuild the computer, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 times. And then at the end, it was like, I literally right-clicked on myself and set a new password. If I was anyone trying to, I don't know why Microsoft, maybe to protect my PC, if I was a bad guy, it took 14 seconds once I got this all done. Anyways, long story short is, fuck Microsoft. It was the most insane week ever. I had to rebuild this PC 4 times, and I don't want to look at it anymore. Frankly, I want to pick it up and throw it out the window. But, you know. Yeah, exactly. So Mr. D's talking about having a production computer. And realistically, that's kind of how it works. I do have I have a whole nother computer that I'm building into a NAS. And, you know, I have other options. But this particular PC, we're here. Yeah, fuck Microsoft. Everybody, one more time for the people in the back. I'm going to get kicked off my stream. So anyways, this is Fullforce Radio. It's about heavy metal. We could talk about my PC, but that was my week. And so today, even while I was prepping for today's show, I was finding things that Microsoft was like, ooh, but you know, we logged you out. Or, ooh, you had local settings and literally nothing has changed. You backed everything up. You've got all your hard drives. Everything's connected perfectly, but nah. Oh, it's been a week. It's been quite a week. And in fact, one thing that I did find out is after all of this beautiful new motherboard and everything else, don't have a Bluetooth dongle, so I'm wired tonight. All right, let us... I'll share some pictures of the PC, but let us listen to some more music. Because gosh darn it, we're almost an hour into the show and I played 1 track. It's ridiculous. I told you guys I want to play you guys some prog tonight, and I wasn't lying. There's so much great stuff going on right now. I want to play you something from a band. Let me pull it up here. One sec here. I want to play something from a band called 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆. And this is really kind of interesting post-rock, progressive, dark metal, post-metal. Yeah, music, woo! It's the reason we come to this show. Crimson Clad, shut your fucking face. I know, guys. But listen, I haven't talked to you in weeks. We got to catch up. We're having our buddy talks. So we're going to play some post-rock, some post-metal, prog-leaning stuff. Band's called 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆. That's... Nobody is Japanese here. They're actually Swedish. And it's a couple of guys. They've had a couple of different lineup changes, but it's 2 guys writing music out of Sweden. It is instrumental, post-rock, progressive, and I'm going to play you a really beautiful track called Darkroom Aesthetics, which is was me, except not a darkroom like photography. It was me lying in my bedroom staring at the ceiling, wishing that I had never touched anything. And just like crying myself to sleep for 2 days. So I did all the crying, you do all the headbanging, and somewhere it shakes out in the middle for Fullforce Radio. All right, there you go. Sick. Oh Hiroshima, a track called Dark Room Aesthetics off an album called Oscillation. Oscillation. I'm oscillating with anticipation. Thanks for coming to hang out tonight. My name's Crimson Clad. This is Full Force Radio, and I have a fantastic playlist here. So I've got lots of stuff to share with you tonight, and I have been ranting and raving and just bitching about how Microsoft tried to fuck me up by basically locking me out of my new motherboard and trying to suggest that I needed to reset Windows, which of course, if you don't know, wipes all your drives, wipes all your settings, fucks everything up, all your programs gone, everything gone. And Microsoft was trying to convince me that that's what I needed to do. And that would have been very upsetting. So I will say, if you want to see my old motherboard, she's a little baby. You guys will see why I had to get a new motherboard. Let me grab them. One sec here. Look at the size of her. Just a baby. Never got a chance to grow up. It's out of an old Lenovo. To be quite honest, it's completely proprietary and completely useless. Completely useless. Little thing. Say a little thing. Say a little mobo. So, I will show you guys quickly, because I just got a message. Everybody's like, show us the computer, show us the computer. So I will. I'll show you the computer. One sec. Let's bang that out. So there you go. I literally just took this from just now. I will say I haven't actually had time to do the RGB thing. I'm not big on RGB. You guys tell me. There's a bunch of you in the chat. What do you think? Are you big into RGB? Like, I'm actually not, which is hilarious because I have a lot of RGB on this PC. But it's not really my jam, to be honest. I like a small bit of tasteful accentuation. And unfortunately, literally every fucking component on this lights up. So one of the things I'm trying to do is actually just get some software that will let me have everything match and just calm it right the fuck down. So there you go, my beautiful black and white PC. But yeah, I think it's a little garish. I don't know. Is it like cars? You know? Everybody's like, look at that board. Is it like cars where the more stickers you put on it, every sticker is like five horsepower? If you have more RGB in your case, is your computer faster and better? Because I'm pretty sure if you ask most gamers, they will tell you abso-fucking-lutely. But, you know, we've already determined that I'm a fake everything, so... I will say she's going to be real pretty when I finish with her. And I'm going to put a bunch of dumb stuff in the case, like my house hippo. You will actually judge me. Well, you've already seen it. Like, here it is. You can see it right here. It does have quite a bit of RGB. I will say the fans, they're not RGB blades. They're RGB halos. They're NZXT. And I do have the Infinity Portal AIO, which I'm going to turn off because it's too much for me. Oh my goodness gracious. And I will say the side of the GPU has a plastic shroud that has colors on it, so I can't just make it white no matter what, which is also obnoxious. But, you know, Clay, now that you said you don't want me to RGB, I'm going to RGB. I'm going to RGB so hard. RGB so hard. Yeah, so the thing on the bottom is that the PSU. Yeah, it's a modular PSU. One sec, let's go back to the picture. So you could see, it's actually like a basement. So you'll see the grating allows the PSU to breathe. And there's a window, and that's if you have like a really fancy, super duper gamer computer. You can actually let people, like if you, like here, you can let people look like some power supply units actually have like a fucking display on the side of them. So you can, I don't know, look at what would you even display? But I found that window and I thought, well, boy, I have a sticker that says fuck that's exactly this size. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did. So my power supply says fuck. So there you go. Also, there's a sticker on this fan and I'm going to peel it off. It makes me really angry. Okay, so anyways, listen, it's been a week. We did survive just barely. We got here. Chicks building gay computers to emasculate you. Yeah, why not? I actually know I watch a lot of PC building channels because because and I will say there are tons of like girl PC builders who build really nice PCs, and there are tons of guys who build like tricked out, garish, just hideous unicorn vomit PCs. Takes all kinds. Whatever your PC looks like, I hope it's amazing and you love it. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, for me, she's a little bright. So anyhow, all right. Want to hear some more music? Shall we play some more music? Shall we do a little bit of a little bit of dance, a little bit of fun? And then after that, I'm going to figure out if I can get my Spotify Wrapped up on the screen for you guys. I believe I can. I just don't 100% know how. I can see a bunch of the Wrapped playlists. I just can't see mine. So what I do for this show to get some of these cool effects is that I actually emulate a phone on my PC. So I run it in a sandbox, and then I use something called BlueStacks, and I actually emulate mobile apps on my PC. And that's how I actually grab a bunch of these visuals and whatnot. So it's not that I have to save it, Eileen. It's that it should come up in the main menu. And I might have to search for it, and I will, and I'm sure I'll be able to find it. Like, I can see a bunch of Wrapped playlists. I just can't see the Wrapped majigger. But worst comes to worst, I'll show you guys the images, because I have those, and they are hilarious. But one of the things that I did want to play for you guys, since we're going to be bouncing back and forth between the harder and the softer and the bigger and the bagger and the blastier, is my top artist this year. My top artist this year, perhaps unsurprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, or whatever, is a band that I've played for you guys a ton. They're a band called 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖐. And they are definitely what would be considered, I suppose, an extreme metal band. But over the year, I've talked to you guys about how they're doing so many things that I absolutely love. I love big, unclean vocals. I love blast beats that, tear my head off. But I love beautiful melodies. I love acoustic, and I love, world fusion guitars. We actually talked a little bit about a band called Nuclear Power Trio. And the guitarist, 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖆, he is, they're touring in UK right now. He's really fascinating because he's on Twitch too. He does guitar lessons. He's playing across a couple different bands. And this last album, 𝖊𝖕𝖆, which came out in 2022 and is essentially might be pretty close to my album of the year. I played for you a lot on this show. It turns out, if you're me and you have a show and a captive audience, although you guys aren't really captive, you can escape anytime you want. I got to figure out a way to tie you up. If you have your own radio show, you play the music you like. So I've played a lot of 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖆 for you guys, and I'm going to continue to do so. So before we kind of jump back and forth and we get into all of the different cool stuff that I have going on tonight, I do want to play something off this album because it's called 𝖊𝖕𝖚. It is my top played artist of the year, my number one out of my Wrapped, and I am apparently in the top 3% of their listeners. I feel like that's a flex, but maybe not. I don't know. Go fish. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to play you a track called Into Embers. It's off that album, 𝖊𝖕𝖚. It is absolutely one of my best albums of the year. I'm going to have a hard time putting together this year's album of the year list for you guys. Many of you guys who come to the show, you just want to hear me shoot the shit. You want me to tell you stupid stories about wanting to, throw my computer out the window and getting buried in snow. And, you want to hear me yell about my day and eat my food, and you want to make fun of me. And I love all that. But some of you genuinely are pretty big metalheads. So if you have an album of the year, or there's something that totally grabbed you this year, shook you a little bit, or you want to show me parts of your Spotify Wrapped, God damn it, let's do it. Hell, I'm coming with you. So if you are the type of person who's like, some of this music is a little bit hard, parts of this track go hard. Parts of it are beautiful and melodic and will open your soul to the mysteries of the universe. 50-50 chance which part you're going to be involved in at any given time. But that is the beauty of Fullforce Radio. Yes, listen to this. Blast beats incoming. All right, there you go. Into Ember is a track by 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, my top artist of the year. So there you go. Pretty stoked about that. And I was just grabbing my battle vest there because it's making the journey to Montreal with me. I've still got so many patches to put on it. I was trying to show you guys last week because I have a pile of patches that are making it on to the battle vest. I got a big stack here and I got a stack over there. Eventually, it turns out you can get too many patches for your vest and you're going to need multiple vests. I didn't think about this at all, but I have some pretty good ones. What do we got here? Okay, so Rotting Christ, that's a sick one. How do I get that in focus? Very nice. Creator, very nice. Okay, listen, guys, we're going to have to talk about this tonight because I was making fun of this today, and I know Clay's here, and it's going to trigger him, and many of you. I have this one because Metallica's Ride the Lightning was an incredibly formative album for me. This was one of the first albums where I was like, I fucking get it. I get speed metal. I get thrash. What up? But over the years, Metallica has behaved stupider and stupider and stupider. And often I say, well, you know, I don't play a lot of Metallica. I love a lot of their songs, but at the same time, you know, we don't promote their behavior and we shake out somewhere in the middle. I don't know if you guys have seen, but Metallica will be doing some festival touring, whatever. And they released some pricing today. Now, if you haven't seen this, Metallica is, we joke on this show about Motorhead, right? We talk about how Motorhead can monetize anything. That was their claim to fame. Motorhead could monetize anything. We talked about Lemmy dildos. We talked about their whiskey, their keychains, their fucking shoehorns. You name it, Motorhead will sell it to you. But at the end of the day, if you went to the Rainbow Bar and you walked down to the end of the bar to the trivia machine, Lemmy would stand there and he would say hi to you. And overall, their tickets were reasonable. They just love to fuck things up and play music. And I tell ya, Metallica, not in the same fucking wheelhouse. So I don't don't know that this is going to make it on my vest. I will find a link and I'll share it with you guys in a second, but here's the gist. Metallica is selling special packages to these upcoming shows. And these special packages include a number of benefits. But let me tell you, fam, the benefits are they're not all that amazing. Holy shit. They are not all that amazing. The benefits to this is you get to sit in what they're calling the snake pit. And it's one of those stages that goes around a small section of the crowd. You know what? Cool, okay. You get to go in there. You get to do a meet and greet with no more than 2 members of the band. You don't get to pick the members of the band. Only 2 of them will show up night to night. You don't know which 2 you're going to get. You get, in fact, let me pull this up because I was shooting this shit with one of the people that I follow on Twitter about this, and it absolutely cracked me the fuck up. So let's jump in here and grab it because Hannah Banana, it's funny. I'm going to pull the picture. 1 second here. Let me get it for you, bibis. Let's just find it. Okay, so here we are. It's called the Nothing Else Matters Snake Pit Experience. Let's put it up on the screen. Let's let everybody look at how ridiculous this bad boy is. All right, here it is. The Nothing Else Matters Snake Pit Experience. Let's look at this by itself. All right, here you go. One. Just in case you were confused by what one actually means. 1 backstage meet and greet experience with 2 members of the band. It includes a photo taken by the tour photographer and a group conversation with members of the bands. Band members will vary show to show. 1 production tour led by a Metallica crew member and an on-stage photo. 1 ticket to the Snake Pit, a standing section located in the middle of the stage for both shows in the same city. Now here's the deal. They are charging you for both shows because the second show is Five Finger Death Punch, and nobody would buy tickets to Five Finger Death Punch. So you have to buy the bundle because it's the only way they can sell tickets to Five Finger Death Punch. What's next, children? A party with other Metallica fans both nights, which comes with 3 beverages. Ooh! 2 limited edition show-specific posters, 1 autograph set list, 1 commemorative city-specific concert ticket, 1 limited edition Metallica merchandise item, 1 MP3 download of the live audio from both shows. 1, you may have 1 MP3, sir. 1 MP3 and no more than that. An express lane designated merchandise stand because, you didn't pay enough for this experience. You get your own merch booth. Great. Okay. Give us more money. Now, here's the deal. And also, there's a bunch of asterisks. Down here, you get 1 band member meet and greet. Even if you're going to both shows, you only get to get 1 meet and greet. You don't know who the band members are. It's not going to be announced. Shut up. If you get Lars, you get Lars. Now, let's go up to the top. Because we might have missed this. Let's talk about the pricing for one second here. It is, let's just zoom in. Look at this. It is $32.22 to $4,398 US for $4,400 US, or what is approximately 6,000 Canadian dollars. You might get to meet 2 members of Metallica, and you get to have your own lineup at the merch booth. Sadly, I don't think the Ride the Lightning patch is going to make it onto my vest. What do you think about this? What is this? 1 whole MP3 download. What do you think? I've never seen something so absolutely absurd and out of touch in my life. Oh my gosh. Everybody's mad about Taylor Swift, but here's Metallica. Anyhow, just thought I'd share that with you guys. Don't pay for tickets. Pirate everything they've ever done. Opeth. Unrequited. Oh yeah, Enciferum. Corpaclani. Canadians rejoice. Rush's 2112 album. I love Rush in general, but 2112 is real fucking special. The first time I heard Temples of Syrinx, I think my head almost exploded. Ghost, Meliora, Omnium Gatherum. Whoop! Daddy Dio, sticking to my boobie. Daddy Dio too. Right side up, make me look like I'm a real thing. What else? Apprentice, local band. Dark Tranquillity. Black Sabbath, another amazing band who doesn't somehow makes tons of money. Didn't manage to screw over their entire fan base. Children of Bodom, King Diamond, Amorphous. Listen, I'm running out of space on my vest. So if we're going to have to reduce, some other people out of the lineup, we're going to have to figure it out. But yeah, they're greed. It's so greedy. And I say this as someone, and I'm going to talk to each and every one of you individually. Remember how we had that whole speech? Know your value, know your worth. You are valuable. These bands are nothing without fans. They're nothing without your dollars, without your streams, without your plays, without buying their merch or sending them love, blowing up their socials. It's ridiculous. I absolutely believe bands should get paid what they're worth, and they don't get paid enough, especially not using Spotify. But I absolutely believe that bands should be giving the best possible chance to their fans to get to enjoy live music. Man, Metallica. We haven't been happy with you in a long time, but this. So, can you think of any band that you would ever think about spending that much money to? Now, forget for a second whether you have the money or not. That's inconsequential details, for sure. We don't care if you actually have the money. Is there any band, any person, anyone, anything, anywhere, anytime where you would think about spending $4,000 to spend a few hours in their company? Genuinely curious, no judgment. I don't care how you spend your money. I bet you guys would think I'm insane for the way that I spend my money. I spend like $50 on a 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘 t-shirt at a show because I'm an idiot. So no judgment. But I'm genuinely curious. Is there anyone that you guys would be like, you know what? Yeah. Because apparently Taylor Swift fans spend that much money all the time. I had no idea. How do Taylor Swift fans make money? Are Taylor Swift fans older than 4 years old? How does this happen? I don't know. I have no question. I have a lot of questions, but no answers to these questions. Well, you guys are thinking about it. Let us continue on. Now, I mentioned to you that I was going to play some really nice, cool, progressive music and some 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖆 and stuff like that. So what I would like to do, my darlings, is I would like to grab some of that for you. Just ask Daddy. Maybe so. I'm pretty sure if I asked my dad for $4,000, even if he had it, he would be like, no. Goodbye. Oh! A raid. Snake! Yes, hi! Good to see you. We're talking about heavy metal. We're talking about Metallica. We're talking about greedy bands and all of the patches that I need to find a place to fit on my vest. Because where do they go? I don't know. Where do they go? All right. So I did promise you guys that I wanted to play some prog for you. And so one of the tracks that I'm going to play for you is by a band called Threshold. And Threshold, let's just grab them here. They have been around for quite a while. They've actually been around in some way, shape, or form since the 80s. And they're UK progressive metal. And this is crazy because in a lot of cases, when we think of prog, we think of a lot of young and up-and-comers. And especially on the shows that I do, I often feature bands like Intervals or guitarists like Pliny or, Animals as Leaders. Or we've talked at length about prog and gent and sort of all of the parts of the genres that are adjacent to that music. There's some good shit. But Threshold truly kind of ruled prog in the 90s. And a lot of people didn't realize that progressive metal was, really exploring. Now, with that being said, I'm actually going to play you a brand new album. So they may have started in the 80s and they may have ruled the 90s, but they're still making incredibly beautiful progressive metal. And I would like to share that with you, if that would be all right. So that's what we're going to do. I am going to grab you a track by them, and I'm going to grab you a track called Silenced. It is off an album called Dividing Lines. And if you give me 2 seconds to smash it into place on the playlist here, if we can get her done. And this album, honestly, is not just a little bit new. It's heckin' new. It came out on the 18th of November. So I actually was planning to put this into last week's playlist, and it just, we didn't get that to happen. So if you guys are cool, I'm going to put some beautiful, brand spanking new, still shiny, barely rolled off the lot progressive metal for you. And we'll see what you guys think. And you can say that, yeah, I like a classic standard bearer of progressive metal. But we'll try and do this jump back and forth. So if I do kind of overwhelm you with blast beats, I'm going to pummel you into submission and then slowly massage your soul. I don't know. Something about this sounds rude. I don't know. It sounds awkwardly sexual. And that's fine. Beautiful metal. Yeah, I have a big thing. Sean, you're kind of newer to the channel and the experience in general. You've been coming around now, but I've been doing this for 5 years. And a lot of the time I talk about how, we're so used to metal as catharsis. We're so used to it as an expression of anger and rage and hate. Crim has a big thing. But the reality is for all the anger and evil and frustration and rage and all of these sort of perhaps negative emotions that metal allows us to express and perform and be done with, there are incredible bands making things that are stunningly beautiful and that you listen to and you're overwhelmed with how powerful they are. And prog is absolutely a part of the overall genre that will do that. Little melodies that will remind you are just a little puff of dust in a gigantic fucking universe. You are a twinkle on a rock spinning through a galaxy in endless time and space. It's pretty cool, to be honest. So, I'm going to play a track called Silenced. It's probably what you guys are hoping I will do soon because I talk a lot. And also, tonight we're just getting back in the swing of things. We are not broadcasting on the radio station. So that kind of stinks. Just dust in the wind. That's right, JJ. All we are is dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Oh, do. Yeah. So now that we've lost every single viewer, silenced,
a million spoken voices, their choices stolen without violence, stopped by unrelenting forces who never saw their worth, who never saw their souls as they were. Concept thought of freely, in fury, a statement of defiance. Blocked, no judges and no jury. From many to a few, to everyone we knew. We real at the scale of the world they created, lost at the cost of the world they deleted. The shouting of a dream was nothing but a scream inside, as everyone was. Silenced, the past is just a memory. Nostalgia is all that it's cracked up to be. Stored like some forgotten history, left together dust. They were loved and they were lost, and they were silenced. They knew that it was coming. They told us we'd reach the end of summer. We stand in line with arrows to beat the new machine. We're slaughtered by the bullets in the form of T's and C's. We're real at the scale of the world they created, lost at the cost of the world they deleted. The shouting of a dream was nothing but a scream inside. Yes, everyone was silenced. Yes, everyone was silenced.
All right, there you go. So I actually did listen through this album this week, and it's really good. It's got shades of sort of that Queensryche, like it definitely sounds like progressive music from the 80s and 90s, no doubt. But they have they've kind of, I don't know, modernized it a bit. Hey, Rebecca is here. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. So I'm really impressed with this album and I really like it. But I picked that track specifically because it's beautiful solos, weird kind of synthesizers. That's kind of passe in a lot of, metal genre now, as a lot of people are like, oh, we can't, synthesizers, that's lame. But one of the reasons that I actually picked that is specifically because the lyrics are fantastic. And one of the things about progressive music is it's often a little bit intellectual at times, and you often get some really great lyrics. And one of the things that's happening right now, if you're on the neeternets, and guess what? I know that you are, obviously, is that we memory hole a lot of stuff. We often say, history is written by the victors, but in this case, history is written by the tech savvy and the internet and sort of the people who are recording truths and history are the ones who are shaping future behavior. And so this track is really kind of about the way that we can change a story very quickly. It's a problem that we have. So I'm going to read you guys the lyrics just quickly. Silenced, a million spoken voices, their choice is stolen without violence, stopped by unrelenting forces who never sold their worth and who never sold their souls as they were. Silenced, a concept thought of freely, in fury, a state of defiance blocked, no judges and no jury, from many to a few, to everyone we knew. Will kneel at the scale of the war they created and lost at the cost of the world they deleted. The shouting of a dream was nothing but a scream inside as everyone was silenced. The past is just a memory. Nostalgia is all that it's cracked up to be. It's stored like some forgotten history left to gather dust. They were loved and they were lost and they were silenced. They knew that it was coming. They told us we'd reach the end of summer. We stand in line with arrows to beat the new machine and we're slaughtered by the bullets in the form of G's and C's. We'll kneel at the scale of the war they created, lost at the cost of the world they deleted. The shouting of a dream was nothing but a scream inside as everyone was silenced. Heck yeah! I kind of feel like a beat poet when I read lyrics without the music. Often I'll put them into my own cadence, my own interpretation. So sometimes I feel a little bit like I should be up on stage and be like, silence, a million voices kneeling at the silence. But I love reading lyrics to you guys because often, you're listening to the track. It's the first time you've heard it. We're chatting, you're watching, you're, doing some code in the background or your homework, you're making food, whatever it is you're doing. Sometimes the lyrics slip by you. And one of the great things that I love to do is actually kind of go back and pick out some of these really beautiful things and let you have them, folks. But yes, I will say, snaps for our Fullforce radio beat poetry. Yeah, it's great. Highly recommend. Good album, Dividing Lines. It's like not even 2 weeks old. You're so ahead of the curve, babies. All right, so here's the thing. I was going to try and find you guys my Wrapped, and I don't know how to do that. So on the homepage, it's not showing it. If I search 2022 Wrapped, your top songs, it's only giving me playlists. I can't see the actual Wrapped. So that's not awesome. So in the meantime, what I will do is I'll show you guys some of the images from my Wrapped, because why the fuck not? Because everybody's asking, and then I can play it, but it's just I can play it on my phone, and you don't want to watch. Oh God, look at how greasy my phone is. I'm so greasy. Crimson Clan, you're so greasy. So I'll show you guys some images, just to kind of do a summarization, because one of the things that we mentioned is that it does work on mobile. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying, Eileen. I actually have mobile apps installed on my computer. I'm running them inside a virtual essentially a virtual terminal that is emulating phone hardware. And it works. That's actually why, if you look at some of these songs, like if we go back to tonight's playlist, let's just grab that, the song by Hiroshima. Let's just quickly check that out. So if you actually are looking at some of the songs and we go over to the music page, I actually have these visualizations. If you're just listening, you're not going to know what the fuck I'm talking about, but maybe you're watching the replay later on and you're catching this. If it's available, I actually do play the visualizations that come with the songs, and those are actually only available on Spotify mobile. But for whatever reason, it might be that I have an older emulator. It might be an older version. It might be that I have to update Spotify on this. I don't know. But unfortunately, don't know. Not going to fuck around with it while we're live because we already started late tonight, and that's a big neener wiener. So forget about it. But what I will do is I will share with you guys, because Eileen wanted to see my top 5 here. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to bang it up on the screen for you. Here you go. My top artists. It's actually pretty unsurprising. So number 1, Allegiant. Number 2, Ghost. Number 3, Amorphous. Last year, Amorphous was my number 1. Number 4, Judas Priest. And number 5, Dune. So there you go. Maybe that's surprising. Maybe it's not. But to me, this was not surprising. This absolutely 100% tracks for me. Yeah, I listened to a lot by all of these guys. And it's funny because I always do kind of have like at least one classic band sneak in. And I am actually genuinely shocked that it was Judas Priest and not Iron Maiden. But hey, you know what? Makes sense to me. Mr. D is slagging on pineapple on pizza in the chat. And we all know that I am pro pineapple. So no more of your nonsense, sir. Oh, look at this. A bot is here to tell me that he will promote my channel. And I am going to disappear him because that's not very fun for you guys, is it, to see that live on screen. So 1 second, friends, as I do a little magic trick and I find my Twitch panel and I tell this lovely person here, how do I... First time chat, shuffle, who's it, what's it? How do I get rid of you? Gift a sub, ban. Timeout. There you go. Bye-bye. Okay, so unfortunately it still shows up on the overlay, but that's just how she works. Sorry, babes. Okay, so what else did you guys want to see? Oh, the other one that I thought was quite entertaining, and that I will share with you guys is my top genres. So let's flip back over. My top genres this year were very much unsurprising. I'm not going to lie to you. This also did not surprise me even a tiny bit. Number 1, metal. Number 2, synthwave. Number 3, melodic death metal. Number 4, electro house. And number 5, void gaze. Yeah, absolutely. And I will, one of the things I'll do is I'll probably record my Spotify and I'll upload it and then we can watch it on the screen together. We'll find a way around it. We're tricksy up in here. But so if you're wondering where Electro House came from, you guys might remember I have the hula hoop over there on the wall. I have a bunch of hula hooping playlists that are very much dance music. I like to dance. I like to go out. So I'm not only hardcore. But another thing is, and everybody that I've shared this with is asking me, what is void gaze? That sounds very strange and esoteric. And electric salsa. Yeah, basically. So I did put a little bit of void gaze on the playlist tonight. And I thought I would share that with you. So if you guys are cool with that, we're going to do it. Void gaze is essentially sort of like post-black shoegaze metal, but in a sort of very much at one with the universe kind of way. It's like emo shoegaze. Yeah. And listen, just gaze at something. Whatever you're doing, you know what? If you're gazing wistfully into the distance while listening to music, you're doing it right. So if you guys are cool, I'm going to play a void gaze band that I'm a big fan of. And it's a band called Cold. And I'm going to play you a track called Shazam the Void. I have a couple of actual Void Graze tracks. We'll just see what we can fit in tonight. But this one I'm going to play. I'm going to put it on tonight's playlist here. I'm going to zoop it up to where we need to be. And then we'll actually kind of go down, 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 down into the depths of the playlist and some heavier metal. My name is Crimson Clad, and we are officially one halfway through the show. Now, I will say, if you're here, I see people are joining us. Kitty Girl has hopped in. Other people are hanging and headbanging. I am considering going back to 2 hours again. I know that sucks and that I bounce around a lot, but a lot of people that were asking me to go to 3 hours wanted me to go later in the evening. But here we are in the depths of winter. It's hard. There's a lot of people competing for your attention, and your time is precious. And I know for a lot of you, staying up late and listening to me yell about motherboards and tortellini and Metallica, you're sick of it. So if you don't want to stay up late, I totally understand. But that's what I'm considering. And the other thing I'm throwing out there is I may move the time of Cyberbuzz. So if you have thoughts and prayers for me, throw them into chat. But if you have thoughts about when you would prefer or where you would prefer to see me, throw them in. There's no wrong answers. I take them all under consideration. I'm constantly massaging your experience. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to play you guys some Violet Cold, some Void Gaze, so you too can be an explorer like Crimson Clad here on Full Force Radio. Notice the DALL-E generated images. Can we talk about that super cool, like, sitar break in the middle of that track? Ah! Love it. Absolutely love it. If you like bands that sound like this, Unrequited, Ghost Bath, Altar, Sylvain, Unrequited is a band that I genuinely always try to put in your guys' ears. We love Unrequited around here. But yeah, Violet Cold, super cool. And they describe themselves as an AI simulated music project. Very, very interesting stuff. Highly recommended. Whether you want to call it dream gaze or void gaze or post-black, progressive, alternative, whatever. It's really interesting. It's got aspects of sort of like world music in it. It's very wistful and melancholy. And it's one of those things where even though it is kind of a down-tempo bit of music, it makes you want to dance. I don't know. So there you go. That you can now too say when you go out and you want to tell people about your super cool Spotify Wrapped. Also, somebody make sure that you help Kitty Girl get to where she needs to go, please, and thank you, darlings, in the chat. Thank you, Clay. Oh no, Gabes, thank you. So while we're trying to like get everybody to where they need to be, because of course the radio station is a little bit broken. MSP Wave, yeah, melancholic, absolutely. And we're going to try and fit some Katatonia in tonight because I saw them on Saturday. But yeah, lots of really beautiful stuff and highly recommended. This is a really interesting project for sure. Like, I don't even really know how I would describe it. That is a fairly new track that came out in September of this year. So we have blown through a lot of music tonight and we have been all over the place. And normally I chat a lot about what's going on in my life. As I was sharing you guys, I'm going to be flying to Montreal to go to a metal show. We've been talking about rebuilding my computer and how that was an absolute nightmare. And I mentioned to you that she is snowing here in Vancouver. And that's not a thing that happens a lot. And this last little bit, the snow was coming down. Now, I live on the West Coast, the wet coast, if you will. Do I have stuff in my teeth? Good. And so what normally happens here is we just get rain. We really don't get snow. It rains down here. And if you look up to the mountains, they have this beautiful dusting of light snow. It's fantastic. Love it. And if I want to go play in the snow, I drive up the mountain and I go for a hike. I go for a snowshoe, fantastic. Take the dogs. But this week, for whatever reason, Vancouver was like, hey, you know how you normally get the autumn? Remember how Microsoft was like, hey, you know how you got a new motherboard? Everything this week was like, hey, Crimson Clad, you know how blank? Go fuck yourself. So the snow this week was basically like, hey, Crim, go fuck yourself. And it fell and there was about a foot. Now in Vancouver, that's the end of the world. I have snow tires. I'm a pretty good snow driver. Most people don't have snow tires. Most people are not good snow drivers. But one of the things that happens is everybody here does their best, but the cities do not have a lot of prep in place for snow because we get so little. And the problem is that means not enough plows. That means not enough salt. That means not enough traction issues. And it means not enough vehicles to help make major routes safe. And so yesterday, I heard from a number of people around me, and I want to know if this has ever happened. Now, some of you live in places where snow's not a thing. Gabe's upside down. Pretty sure you don't get snow. I mean, Clay lives in the swamp. I don't think it snows in the swamp. Eileen, I don't know. Your winter isn't that cold. So you guys tell me where you live. Do you get a lot of snow? JJ was saying 77 inches in New York. We got a foot. Let's call it a foot. But what ended up happening is they closed most of our major bridges because the bridges that they built are cable suspended bridges. And this little thing happens called ice bombs. And that is ice forms on the cable of the bridges and then just falls off. Fuck off. Giant heavy chunks of ice plummet down into traffic and smash out windshields of vehicles driving along the bridge below. So when it's funny seeing it happen to us. Yes, of course, Mr. D, obviously from back east, Montreal gets snow. They know what snow is all about. Quebec gets snow. They are not much snow fair enough. Rebecca, not really getting snowed on in Texas. Fair enough. A little jealous for sure. But so here's the thing, is they close all the bridges now, especially when there's a lot of snow, because it turns out if you're driving along and a 10 to 15 pound chunk of ice falls from hundreds of feet up, it gets moving. And as metal as it is, I'm pretty sure nobody wants icicle impalation. I don't know if you can be impaled as a verb, but I'm making it up. This is a metal show. Hashtag icicle impalation. It's my new band. Look it up. Going to be on DistroKid in 2 weeks. New shirt. I'm actually legitimately... Where's a pen? We're going to write this down. This is going to go right up there with 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆. Someday when there's merchandise, I'm going to make a logo for a fake band. Icicle impalation. There you go. You see? Oh, no, you can't see. Icicle impalation. Got it. All right. So anyways, people getting smashed, stabbed, generally fucked up by ice. So they closed all the bridges. Here's the deal. I talked to people who left work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and didn't get home till 3:30 a.m. 7 to 12-hour drives to go a couple of cities apart. Some people completely gave up and just slept in their vehicles with no blankets, no nothing. It was scenes out of the apocalypse. And for what? Not even a full foot of snow. Absolute insanity. So I don't know if there's something, is there something that happens, maybe like a local phenomena? Is there something that you live in a place that is supremely unprepared to handle it? I'm genuinely curious because this was wild. They closed a couple of bridges, a couple of major arteries, and everyone everywhere backed up for hours. Imagine being in your vehicle at like -6 degrees. It's not even that cold, but imagine a wet, cold, -6 degrees sitting in your car for 7 hours stuck on a highway somewhere. You're not even that far from home, but you legitimately cannot move because everything in front of you and everything behind you is gridlock. And everybody's just fucked. Can you imagine sleeping on the highway? What the hell? Holy shit, Vancouver, get it together. So I'm genuinely curious if is there anything like that that happens near you? Now, if you're not a snowy place, I don't know. Does it get so hot your car doesn't work? Okay, nope, that's not a thing. But find something equivalent. I mean, I don't know, but this was wild, I have to say. And so, of course, same sort of thing. Like I get out, I drive my car out in my snow tires. I'm going slow, but I'm going. And I'm watching. I have a couple of roundabouts on my route from here to work. Oh, we should play a Legion's cover of Roundabout. Yeah? It rains so hard your house blows away. Yeah, as soon as I said that, I was kind of like, ooh, levees, rain, flooding. Sorry about it, Nola. In Arizona, it gets so hot it melts the tires. Wow! Shit, I didn't think about that. I love Arizona, but yeah, Arizona gets hot. I visit in the winter and the only times I go. And in the winter is like too hot for me, fam. Wow. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fuck. So anyways, that was wild. So I'm driving and I have a couple of roundabouts and it's snowing. It's icy. People have slept in their cars. Everyone's miserable. You just drive slowly. No, I'm watching people on bald summer tires try and drive up the side of like a snow embankment and either get immediately stuck or lazily spin across an entire intersection. Absolutely ridiculous. And I have to say, we talk a lot about how the media is absurd, right? We talk about it often on Cyberbuzz. But here in Vancouver, there's a little bit of snow and then you get the reporter on scene. It's chaos out here. It's madness. I've just watched 2 people slip on the ice and they've fallen on the ground. Oh, the humanity. Like, it's just, they're looking for something to report. Anywhere else, I think wasn't there a news reporter one time who was reporting on like heavy winds and was like, it's so hard out here. And then like in the background, somebody's walking by and is like, the fuck? He just walks by normally and is like, the hell's that guy doing? I don't know, man. I don't know. Ridiculous. If you've never seen somebody drift their car in circles going around a roundabout to just gently boop into the side of a tree, it's something. It's really something. Makes you wonder, who are you out there on the roads with? Yikes. All right, so I do want to play you guys some heavier music tonight, if that's okay. Yeah, you guys have seen it, right? Where the guy's just like, oh, God, oh, it's so bad, I'm dying. And, you know, everybody else is just like, yeah, hysteria. It's all hysteria. That's exactly it. So it's quite funny because it's the same thing. They don't even have footage because there's so little to like take video of. They use like stock footage of, you know, some snowflakes or like a clump of snow falling out of a tree while the person's reporting. They show it like 6 times because they actually legitimately just don't have anything to report. There's snow in the winter. You were expecting it. I don't know. You'd think we were a little smarter by now. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to get into some of the weird stuff on the playlist now because why not? We're into the last little bit of the show. We're into the second half. We're in the back end of the show here, kids. So I did notice that some interesting and slightly, it's not winter anymore. It's polar vortex. I understand. It's not winter. We're polar vortex sounds a lot more extreme, doesn't it? Yeah. There it is. Perfect. If you're in Discord, Patient Zero, he shared it, but let's do this. I'm going to show it on the screen because it is so freaking funny. It's so stupid. Here you go. Here's this person. Oh, there you go. It's translated in my browser apparently. But here you go. Here's this totally legitimate guy. Oh, I can't make it bigger. Well, anyways, here he is. Look at him. He's struggling. And the guys in the background are like, yeah, whatever. In their shorts. Jesus. Media will rot your brains, kids. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to mention is I actually found that a bunch of the tracks that I've been listening to this week have like little shades of medieval melodies in them. So we've already done some like prog, we've done some extreme metal, we've done some 𝖍𝖕𝖎𝖃. So we thought maybe what we would do now is I'm going to play for you guys some tracks that are also kind of critical. Like we've already criticized some of the media and the victors writing history. But now I'm going to play you a track by a band called 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘. 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘. They have a CH at the end. That's ASMR for you. You join into Fullforce Radio and just in time to hear 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘. Oh, Lordy. But so this is like black metal, atmospheric. We're going to kind of try and keep things. We're going to make a logical progression. Atmospheric, a little bit gothic. You got some post-rock. These guys are out of Portland, Oregon. So, you know, I'm on the West Coast and I'm always repping West Coast bands for you guys. So we're going to play this. And this track is called Kneel to the Cross. And it is a little critical. It's not smashing on Christians per se, but it is smashing on blind faith. And it's not even bad to have blind faith. But when blind faith has you doing things that harm other people, sometimes it's good to stand up and take a look at your actions. So I'm going to play you this track called Kneel to the Cross, and then we will come from there. We will start moving upwards, but I thought I'd get this one and a track by 𝖬𝖊𝖆 after this. Some weird kind of medieval fiefdom post-black metal. I warned you guys at the start of the show. Tonight was going to be all over the place. I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me expose you. I was just going to leave it at that. But thank you for letting me expose you to weird stuff, and thank you for being open. I am going to try to finish the Ace Ventura playlist for next week. We'll see if it happens. I don't know. It's bizarre, but, you know, it's been a while since we had a good themed playlist, and you deserve it.
Summer is a-coming in, arise, arise. 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 Summer is a-coming in, arise.
our bread and bury our dead and kneel to the cross on the wall. Whether burnt at the stake or drunk at the wake, just kneel to the cross on the wall. We've original sin, if we might just get in, if we beg to the cross on the wall. It's love your neighbor and rattle your saber, but kneel to the cross on the wall. See the roof fall, hear the bells crash, as flesh and bone turns to ash. Try to conquer the sun with a Christian frost. The corpse's stench beneath the cross, and give them the gold, and they'll save your soul. And kneel to the cross on the wall, and hail to the boss of the great unwashed, and kneel to the cross on the wall. They wail and weep the march of the sheep as they go to the cross on the wall. And it's ever so wrong to dare to be strong, so kneel to the cross on the wall. See the roof fall, hear the bells crash, as flesh and bone turns to ash. Try to conquer the sun with the Christian frost. The corpse's stench beneath the cross, and it's ever so wrong to dare to be strong. And it's ever so wrong to dare to be strong. But summer is a-coming in. Arise, arise. But summer is a-coming in. Arise, arise. But summer is a-coming in. Arise, arise. But summer is a-coming in. Arise, arise.
All right. So I do want to talk about this a little bit because Clay made a good point. Clay was like, oh, well, Crim's playing Christian metal. So here's the deal. This track is, like I said, a little bit critical of Christianity. Not entirely. But if you have any idea of... if you have any idea about sort of religion around the world, you might have an idea of what 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆. 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 was essentially like a pagan celebration, a Roman pagan celebration, and it generally fell around the idea of Christmas. So we didn't have Christmas yet. Christianity hadn't had Christmas. See, it all kind of ties into what we're doing. So the festival of 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 was basically worshiping the return of the sun. Here we are in the depths of winter. December 25th, we were going to have the festival of 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, and we were going to talk about the sun coming back into our lives. Arise, arise. And so that's where but summer is a-coming and arise, arise. Well, when Christianity started to spread, you guys know, or maybe you don't, but most people know that in general, to be a unifying religion, the best thing you could do is start taking over other festivals, dates of importance, folding some of this other mythology into your own. And so there is a lot of crossover between Sol, the sun, and that sort of Roman worship and, the Roman temples and festivals. If you're going to convince some people to like your new religion, our religion's cooler, it's got hookers and blow, come on over. If you're going to convince someone to do that, well, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to give them something familiar. And so this track is basically talking about how there's a specific line here, and I'll read the lyrics to you, but they tried to conquer the sun with Christian frost. The idea that this joyous, jubilant, powerful, worshiping pagan ceremony was then sort of dampened and tempered, because Christianity at the time, the idea was very much that you were practicing self-sacrifice, you were, penance was important, genuinely you were looking to be absolved of your sins versus celebrating. And now, I'm not here to tell you what religion is or is not. I'm just kind of giving you an overview of what kind of happened, right? There was a major shift in the world at that time. Christianity didn't start out taking over the planet, right? It didn't become the most popular religion overnight. There was a spread, and there was a way that happened. So I will kind of read the lyrics to you, because it is a little bit critical. The idea of, listen, you've taken this thing and you've changed it a little bit, and a lot of it is sad and sort of muted. And if you are kneeling at the cross, maybe there's something that you need to remember about why we worshipped the way we did. And summer is coming, and there is beauty and joy and warmth still available to you. So maybe it's time you rise up from a kneeling position. So I'm not here to tell you what to worship. I like you the way you are. But I do find this really fascinating, because it ties into a lot of our human history, and it ties into a lot of the things that that shaped us and shaped the way we are now. So give us our bread and bury our dead and kneel to the cross on the wall. Whether burnt at the stake or drunk at the wake, just kneel to the cross of the wall. We've original sin, but we might just get in if you beg to the cross on the wall. If it's love your neighbors or rattle your saber, just kneel to that cross on the wall. Hear the roof fall, hear the bells crash, as flesh and bone turn to ash. Tried to conquer the sun with Christian frost, the corpse's stench beneath the cross. Give them gold and they'll save your soul. Just kneel to the cross on the wall. Hail to the boss of the great unwashed, and kneel to the cross on the wall. They wail and they weep, it's the march of the sheep as they go to the cross on the wall. And it's ever so wrong to dare to be strong. Just kneel to the cross on the wall. But summer is a-comin', so arise, arise. There you go. And it's a great track. And so that's really what it was all about, right? Is you just did the things that were asked of you. You came, you paid penance, and a lot of the joyousness was replaced with the idea of suffering and servitude. And, here we are. Christianity did make it. Sol Invictus, not really celebrated in a lot of places around the world. So read into that as you will. I am laughing, though, because Clay is talking about sort of obviously his personal beliefs on religion, but he's also quoting an old Offspring song. The more you suffer, the more it shows you really care. Right? Yeah. Apparently Christianity's like an abusive girlfriend. Go figure. What was the name of that track again? My man. The track is called Kneel to the Cross by 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘. Let me do one of these. I'm just going to press play for a second. It'll show up on the screen there. And I will grab the album for you. 1 second. It's off an album called Of Stone, Wind, and Pillar. So it's actually quite an old album. This is from like early 2000. And it's awesome because on this, there's actually a version of a poem by Yeats. So if you're interested in like history and humanity and, poetry and art and the places where all of those things intersect, Highly recommend 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘 to you. Let me grab this album link and I will drop it in the live chat, which of course will show up on the screen. And if you are watching this on a replay later on, well, tough titty bitties, kids. You'll just have to listen to me and put 2 and 2 together. Hey, Heilig, haven't seen you in a bit. Hope you're amazing, my dear. And to all of you, it's a great track. I love this kind of thing. I love these sort of weird dissections of these crossroads, especially because metal and Christianity have so much, they often bump heads, but they often have crossover. There's a lot of strong opinions around Christianity and metal, and that is one of them. Great track. We talked about this when we were playing the Epic Metal playlist. You love history, but you hate humanity. You know what? You probably hate humanity because you love history. In general, the more we read about what we do, the more we realize, God, we suck. We suck. Just try and be nicer than the person that came before you. It's all you can do. But yeah, so hi, Zip. Good to see you. So I'm pinning more stuff to my vest. We've been talking about patches tonight, getting some more patches onto the vest. We were talking about rebuilding my computer. Zip is here. He's waving his little arms off. Hey, bud. And we're just hanging out for the last, call it, hour of Full Force Radio. Let's go Bengals. I don't know the sports ball. I'm sorry. What kind of sports ball do these Tigers play? I'm sorry. I'll give them a shout out. Let's go Bengals. I don't know. Well, there you go. Go team. So I mentioned to you guys that we've come through the prog, we've come through the void gaze, we've played some extreme metal, we've done a wide range of things, and we're not even finished the last hour. It's the football. Okay, it's the foosball. Got it. Fair enough. I'm sorry. It's not that I'm making fun of you. It's just, for me, I'm not a sports ball fan. What can I say? I want to build computers and listen to really angry music. So I mentioned that I was going to play a lot of weird stuff tonight, and that was one of the first ones. Did you get your free NFT? Well, you are welcome to share information in the chat. If I take a look at this link and it is any way a phishing link or dangerous or anything like that, I will ban your fucking ass so fast. So, everybody here, do your own research, your mileage may vary. Please be safe. If anybody tries to harm any of my babies, I'll kill you. Okay. So I mentioned I was going to play something by a band called 𝖊𝖕𝖆. There's 2 R's in there. And this is really cool because one of the things I mentioned to you is I have a lot of medieval sounds. And that last track, you could hear it, right? That sort of quiet. Oh, it's on Theta. Absolutely. Share it. Thank you, Zip. That's fine. Theta NFTs, A++. Okay. So one of the things that... One of the things that I talked about is that tonight, for whatever reason, some medieval metal kind of snuck in. And that last track had that hints of sort of that medieval time where there was a struggle between religions, where you were rattling your saber and going off to war into the Crusades. And if you were just, one of those serfs out in the field, were you worshiping the sun or were you, whatever. So while we're on this kick, I actually have another neo-medieval band for you. And it just happened to work out the way it worked out. This is a band from Poland. I love Polish everything. Now, I'm a little biased because my family, or at least half of my family, has Polish descent. And I know Gabe is another in here. And so, in general, Poles are hilariously complex people and also very simple. And most of the time, their emotions consist of joy, drunk, anger. That's the span. But there is a lot of incredible history in Poland and a lot of really cool metal bands from Poland that kind of dip into this space. So the band that I'm going to play for you, I think it's 4 of them, and they're from Poland, and they do neo-medieval music. So they write metal, they write kind of modernish metal, and they kind of smash medieval instruments and tunes into it. And it's pretty fucking cool. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to play you a song. Now, these guys are, in the terms of like Spotify, pretty new. There's not a lot of their music on Spotify, but I'm going to play you this single that was released this year. They've released 2 singles this year with an upcoming album coming out. They don't even have an album for you to listen to. This is how like fun and new and jazzy you're going to get here. So I'm going to play you a track called Divide and Conquer. I'm not going to lie, we're kind of on a theme tonight. We've been talking a little bit about how the media pushes you in different directions. We've been talking about how history has an impact on you. And now we're going to play a song called Divide and Conquer. My name is Crimson Clad. This is Full Force Radio. I don't know what tonight's theme is. There isn't a theme. It's just music I want to play for you. Some of it's new, some of it's old, all of it's good. It is a lot of fun metal. And we have actually come up with my band. It is Icicle Impalation. Hey, Unfeeling, if you've never really thought about getting impaled in the face by a razor sharp icicle, now you have. Hashtag patent pending. Look for the merch. Like hurdy-gurdy and stuff. Fucking cool. It's so good. Now, I will say that is funny because, of course, when 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆's here, the metal IQ in the room goes up. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it is a good song, right? So we were talking a little bit about sort of some of these little, like, wink, wink, nod, nod, dark patterns, kind of manipulative behavior in sort of humanity in general, right? So we were talking about that track by Threshold called Silence. That song has similarities to Weezer. Agree to disagree, but we might be listening for different kind of musical cues. The metal type guitar. I know what you mean, the guitar tone. And that, yeah, you know what? I'll give you that. They have kind of a fuzzy sort of, I don't know what kind of tone. It's a stretch, but I'm going to give it to you. But so, yeah, I hadn't mentioned it, but 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 is absolutely right. If that vocalist sounds familiar, it's because she comes from another band that I've played on this show. And we talked at length about how that band has Celtic influences and often comes up in the folk aspect. I've done a bunch of folk shows and they came up. And it's a band called 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘. I don't know how to say it. I always say it wrong. Doesn't matter. But they are a big ensemble band that writes Celtic-inspired music. I played Call of the Mountain recently. The Call of the Mountain. Ooh. I don't know if you guys remember it. Only a couple weeks ago. Fantastic tracks. Older music is good. But one of the founding members is an absolute weenus, and everybody leaves the band because they hate working with him. He seems like a big old dingle. And so this has happened before. There's other hurdy-gurdy players. I'm trying to remember what her name is. The one that moved to 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆. She started a new one. What's her name? Fuck, I've lost it. It's at the top of my head. She started 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆. She was actually here this last weekend. Saw her live. Fantastic. Same thing. This lady, her name is Anna Murphy. There you go. See? This is Heilig's show. This isn't even my show. Fuck, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But so this lady, I think her name is like Michelina. Makes me think of the frozen food because I'm a North American. But same sort of thing. She basically left and she took a lot of the sounds and you know, whatever. No, I'm teasing. I love when you guys are involved and you know this stuff. You gotta like check me. Oh, Clay's making fun of the fact that I called him a dingle. I don't know. He just like... Canadian swear words, the worst one for sure is goof. If somebody goes like, hey, you fucking goof. That's, in Canada, if you call someone a fucking goof, like you're gonna get stabbed. That's what it is. But I mean, honestly, like he strikes me as not even like a large piece of shit. He strikes me as the type of annoying hangers-on piece of shit. Like, you didn't catch it and he's kind of tangled up in your anus hair and you just can't get rid of him. He stinks. He's smushy. He's there. He's uncomfortable, but you can't scrape him away. He's disgusting. He's a dingle. All right. So anyways, long story short, I don't know him as a person, but overall there are obviously some band members out there who have a reputation for being a shitty person. And he is one of them. Crim, just get a bidet. It's not a problem for me personally. I have to say, I feel bad for men. You have a lot of hair in that region, and I imagine that just in general, bathroom time is a lot of work for you. I don't know. I don't like to think about it, to be quite honest. But I'll tell you one thing. I've never wiped my ass and seen a member of a band either, so... but yes, so everybody left at the same time. There's been a mass exodus. Many of these bands have lots of changing sort of lineups. This is one of them. They all left. They formed their own band. 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆𝖆 is one. This new band is another. It's great. It's cool. Most of them are Polish. They're making really cool music. And I am here for it. That sort of medieval melody, but you're keeping the blast beats and cool lyrics. So again, and actually a fun fact about that is these guys ended up actually kickstarting that album. They needed to make the first album. It will be coming out. This is really, really cool. And I didn't find it until a bunch of the tiers sold out, sadly. So they have gotten lots of support and they're really excited for this. And apparently, if you pledged high enough to their Kickstarter, you would actually get a hurdy-gurdy. You would have to pledge like €1,000 or more, but you would actually get your own hurdy-gurdy. That seems cool. Don't know what you do with it, but they're a neat instrument. Neat! So, that track, since we've been reading out lyrics tonight, and we've been enjoying some of these sort of wink and nod lyrics about all the shit that's going on in our lives and all the manipulation around us. Well, this is talking about the medieval fiefdom, but it's not dissimilar to what happens in today's day and age politically. How would it feel to walk through ruins of your conscience? Embers illuminate the mind and there's nothing left. You're free. Just let us gently guide you through your freedom. No need to think about it. I'm here to care about it. The king is dead. Long live the king. Just make sure your eyes are not open. That would ruin our game. And we just love to play divide and conquer. Sing me a song, my little bird with sapphire feathers. I gave you all the proper words. Do you know any birds with sapphire feathers out there? I gave you all the proper words and all the spur. Your voice belongs to me and I demand obedience. Sing me a song from behind your golden bars. The king is dead, long live the king. Just make sure that your eyes aren't open because that would ruin our little game and we love to play divide and conquer. Interesting! I'll leave that with you. Medieval music? Modern problems. Fascinating. Love it. They go hand in hand. Yeah. Me too, Sean. Deconstructing these lyrics is really interesting because it turns out, as humans, we keep running into the same fucking problems over and over and over and over. We haven't solved them. We haven't learned anything from history. We suck. But the music is good, goddammit. All right. So Full Force Radio continues. We got about half an hour left in the show. I am trying to fit in as much fun stuff as I can. So we did the prog, we did the extreme, we did the void gaze, we did the medieval, we've done the historical. Hi, Kingski! Lots going on. If you guys are cool with it, I'm going to do a little bit of stoner, and then we are going to move into some of the heavier Black Death. Yeah, nothing new under the sun. Ain't that the truth? We love to think that we're unique and beautiful little snowflakes, and in many ways, you are. You are unique and wonderful, and you are a tiny presence in the universe that will never be repeated. And in the same vein, you are also made of the exact same star stuff as me, and we're basically completely interchangeable in the scheme of things. Fascinating how that works. So I am going to play some extreme metal towards the end of the night. I want to play some Carcass. I want to play some 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖆. Yeah, you did fail me, Ron. It's fine. Honestly, I just basically was like, fuck it, I'll do it live. And I just bypassed the MSP Wave station entirely. So many people are here tonight, which is super cool. But you're hanging out on Twitch, on Vim, on 𝖭𝖐𝐻𝑆, on trve. Wherever it is that you're watching, just not in the Discord or on MSP Waves. The station tonight, missed out. All right, so no worries. Napping is fine. I know you're a busy business clown, and I appreciate all you do. So before we get into some of the extreme metal and before we kind of get into the heavy stuff to finish up the night, I would like to play for you. I want to play something by a band called Green Lung because I adore them. I'm beautiful, fun, and smart. Flattery will get you everywhere. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I will say, at times I'm very ugly. I'm very obnoxious to be around, and I'm very dumb. We all have our times and our moments. The nice thing is, more often than not, while I'm live on air, I'm having a good one. Crocus! Wow. Now that is some old school. So Zip, and for whoever's here, I'll be flying in tomorrow night. I'm catching an overnight red eye to be in Montreal for essentially one night to go see the Great Heathen Army Tour. So it's going to be Amon Amarth, Cattle Decapitation, Obituary, and Carcass. I would like to play at least some Carcass, hopefully some brand new Obituary. They just released a new track. We'll see how much time we have for, and we'll see how much you guys are like, and run away. You never know. But in the meantime, I want to play something off an old album by Green Lung. You guys probably know I fucking love Green Lung. UK black magic devil stoner metal. And fantastic stuff. You guys know that I am obsessed with this band. Stoner metal has come way, way up in my estimation. And we've talked about my metal journey before and sort of the waves that I go through. Literally, last week I was getting pummeled to death at the front of the Cannibal Corpse mosh pit. No word of a lie. I'm going to share some of the stuff, the pictures and stuff that I took with you guys. I was literally getting crushed to death. And now I want to talk to you guys about smoking a blunt in the forest with the witches. And that's how it's going to go. A little bit of everything. Get you a girl who can do both. But this is off essentially what was the first. Yeah, exactly. This is essentially off what was the first Green Lung album. I've played a lot off of Woodland Rights. In 2019, Woodland Rights was on my albums of the year list. I did a great show that year. There were so many good albums. Woodland Rights was way up there. This year or last year, Black Harvest came out, and I've been playing those tracks for you guys a lot. You guys know I've been playing Graveyard Song all year, but I'm going back to 2018. Ancient history, if you will. We're going back into the medieval forests. We're going back from even before King Arthur's Table. Woodland Rites is a concept album about what happens if both the Templars and the UK sort of King Arthur mythos, the Knights of the Round Table, existed simultaneously. And all the Templars died in the Crusades, but were resurrected as zombie servants of Satan. And all of the Knights of the Round Table were actually lured into the service of demons by witches in the woods. That's what that album's about. It's a gooder. I'm going to take you back even before that, and it's an album called Free the Witch, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It's what happens when a nice lady wanders into the woods and the trees draw her in and corrupt her, and she becomes an evil older than time. I'm going to keep making that face too, because I love it. I love this kind of weird mythos. It speaks to all the things that terrify us as humans. Don't go in the woods at night. The trees will get you. Then you'll be a witch. Also, women are scary. Witches are bad. Ah, the devil. It's hilarious. Great album. Let's do it. I'm going to play you a track. I'm going to play you a track called Lady Lucifer here on Full Force Radio. Oh no. That ended a little too quickly. Okay, let's bounce back to the webcam. Yeah, there you go. It's a great track. Honestly, I mean, I know we're not supposed to be promoting the idea that all the women are the devil. And if you were here the other week, I was sharing the new Insomnium track with you, which was, again, about witches. They have a new concept album coming out about 1696. I think Anno 1696. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Basically, it was a year where they murdered a lot of women just in case they might have been witches. It was a bad year. It's a bad year for Norway or whatever. All women are the devil. Exactly. The devil! You missed it. We were talking about foosball earlier. But yeah. So do you guys think I'm going to get, do you think I'm going to get kicked off the plane if I sew on the plane? If I take a needle? Because I'm just pinning these now. Are all women are not the devil? I mean, I don't know. I meet some and I'm like, you're the devil. But then I meet some men and I'm like, you are also the devil. Satan is in all our hearts, children. And so is God. Pick a good one. But yeah, so this is the new version of my battle vest. I pulled everything off it and I'm kind of rebuilding it again now because of course I am. But so the problem is I have this super sick killer monomarth back patch, but I can't have multiple back patches. So unfortunately it's out. Merciful Fate is in. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. Don't Break the Oath. Speaking of the devil. So yeah, I'm just working on getting it all together. But I thought if I'm going to sit on the plane for 5 hours, I may as well sew. I know I could iron these on, but that's not authentic. That's not hardcore. That's not true cult. But I'm wondering if I take a sewing needle on a plane, am I going to get like air marshaled? Is somebody going to duct tape me to my seat? Ow, pins. I don't know. I never really thought about it. Yeah, cottagecore. This is me. That's Crim. I'm constantly doing arts and crafts. It's ridiculous. I got more spikes to put on my vest too. I got a big pile here. You can hear them. This is officially just about, this is heavy metal ASMR from here on out. You're going to listen to me, pronounce like syllables in bands like agalak. Or I'm going to drop spikes on the table in a very ASMR fashion. Yeah, give me your money. I don't know. Wearing it on the plane. Buddy, I wear this wherever I go, and I'm going to sew it on the plane. Some of you guys might not have been here yet. I actually tore the sleeves off this vest live on air one day. I did a whole industrial metal dance while tearing the sleeves off this vest. I love it. It's my favorite. Needs more spikes, but heck yeah, look at that little skull down there. It's real cute. I'm thinking though, in very hardcore fashion, that I might put the Rush, just because Canadians, I might put the Rush patch over my heart, which is really lame, but I kind of don't care. Anyways, we'll work it out. We'll see. If you guys read on the news that a woman went insane and started stabbing other passengers with a sewing needle, well, yeah, more spikes equals more cool. Exactly. Is that like my PC? More RGB equals more cool? Right? God, I love this vest. Hell yeah. Thank you. So anyways, I'm getting your guys' opinions on it as I go. But it turns out if you put pins all over something and then you take it on and off, you'll stab yourself a lot. Beauty is pain. Everything louder than everything else. One thing that makes me a little sad is the pockets are really awkward. One thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to take this like Ace of Spades card and sew it halfway into my pocket. But the problem is if I do that, I can no longer zip up the pocket ever again unless I cut the patch. So I haven't figured that out. You guys have to, maybe if you can help me brainstorm a way that I could have the Motorhead Ace of Spades coming out of my pocket, but still be able to use the zipper on my pocket. Because listen, if you're going to crowd surf, you need pockets that will zip closed. Ask me how I know, because cut the patch. You say cut the patch? I don't know. Because here's the deal. You guys know I went to see Cannibal Corpse. And I obviously crowd surfed Cannibal Corpse. That is a bucket list thing. And so as I was going over the rail, I realized I lost my American Express card. Don't know where it is. It's gone. Just gone. What, did I say the wrong side for my heart? It's because I'm looking, no, this is the heart. Heart is here, sort of mid-left on your chest, not mid-right. The reason is because your heart, they believe, that's why your wedding ring goes on this finger, is because they believed that your heart goes down to this finger. Oh, I just thought you meant I had the wrong side. Yes, it is. It's not right off to the left. It's slightly left of center, but it's still behind your sternum. That's literally what your sternum is for. Your rib's kind of attached to it, but also it is the protector. Canadians with American Express. Yeah, Americans with Discover and like diners cards. Fuck you. But anyways, my American Express is awesome. I have status with Air Canada. It's a great card. I love it. But the problem is I went crowd surfing at Cannibal Corpse. I got the shit kicked out of me and I lost my credit card. So what can I say? You need zipper pockets. But I did promise you guys that I would share some of my photos. So I'll do that while I play the next track. But since it is completely in the center. Okay, well, I needed a man to tell me, because as a woman, anything I say is A, either of the devil, or B, completely incorrect until a man corrects me. So thank you. I legitimately don't know. I've never opened up someone's chest to look. And it's been a long time since someone made me look at a picture in a textbook. What can I say? If you ask me where the metal goes, it's where the metal goes. All right. So you guys know I'm flying for the weekend and that I'm going to go see Carcass and Cattle Decapitation and Obituary and all these fucking bands, and I'm really excited for them. So if you don't mind, while we still have a little bit of time left in the show, I'm going to play a track by Carcass. I have to. It's been a couple weeks, maybe a couple months since I have. And while that is playing, I will pull up some of the photos from the show. The metal goes to the left. That's right. And you know why? Because that way you can cross your fist over your chest, Spartan style. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Ow. Sounds cool, but it hurts. I'm going to have a bruise now, too. I bruise really easily. Okay, so I'm going to play you something off an album called Surgical Steel. It's from 2013. It is an excellent, excellent album. I'm going to play you a track called Unfit for Human Consumption. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should eat your fellow man. End of sentence. All right. So there you go. Apparently I'm giving some of you guys flashbacks, and that's fantastic. So I'm just looking through my phone here and trying to find pictures from when I was trying to find some from when I went over the rail and I crowd surfed for Cannibal Corpse, but I haven't found any yet. But I thought I might share with you some of the thickest neck moments, because let me tell ya, our buddy Corpse Grinder, that neck, look at his neck. He is a human thumb. Incredible. Look at George. Goodness gracious. Now, I promise I won't show you guys all of these pictures through my phone, but this one I would have to export as a GIF and send and blah, 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 blah. It's a whole thing. But I'll show you guys some up on screen. It was a good time. Let me tell you, I'm a big fan of being in the front of the mosh pit, and unfortunately, sometimes it really does a number on your body. So I do have some great shots, and I do actually have a video from the front of the mosh pit, which I'm going to try and find for you guys. The only problem is, I took it specifically because if you've been watching my show for the past 5 years, you will know that there is this gentleman in Vancouver, and he goes to every single concert, every metal concert that ever happens in Vancouver. And it's wild because he is because he walks with a cane, and he has a cane, and he is always in the mosh pit. No question, never misses it, never skips a beat. And sometimes I will look and I will see a circle pit form, and the pit is wild and people are, running around and whatever. And he's in the middle of it with his cane going like this. And if people get too close to him, he'll just fucking whack him with the cane. It's hilarious. And so I took a video trying to show you that he's in the pit, and I couldn't do it, but it was a good time that was had by all. So I'll try and show some of them to you, because maybe they're interesting, maybe they're not. But I will say that Corpse Grinder is just one of the nicest humans on earth, and it is quite hilarious because he'll talk about being good to each other, and then he'll turn around and look into the camera and be like, "Okay, ladies, this one's for you. I call it fucked by a knife." And you're like, "Oh, okay." Thanks, George. So here you go. Legit, I could not get any closer than I was. It was well worth it. But I'm not going to lie to you. It's a small house, and it was packed. All of my back from top to bottom, my butt from top to bottom, solid wall of bruises. Straight up solid wall of bruises. But really legit. And if you're wondering what the symbol on his arm is, it is because he's a huge nerd. I'm curious to know, anybody watching the stream, if you know what that is a reference to. Also, if you look at the cabinet at the big speakers in the back, you will see a literal fake piece of human skin in the shape of a face. And at one point I thought about texting some of you and being like, there's a literal human face on the speakers. I'm in danger. But yeah, if you've never seen Corpse Grinder get out there, this is not sped up. This is our man going for it. And his neck is the size of my thigh. No word of a lie. It's kind of amazing, actually. I didn't know human genetics, that this was possible with human genetics, but it is. So there you go. And I'll see, I think, can we watch this video? Sorry, maybe. Can we open the original somewhere? I don't know if we can. Let's just see. Because every time I'm going to play it, you're just going to hear screaming otherwise. So let me open link. Oh, it just downloaded the video. All right, forget it. We'll worry about this later. This is not interesting. All right, so it's a horde symbol. That's right. A bunch of you guys know it. He's a big old World of Warcraft nerd, and he's all about the horde. So yeah, 3 of you, gold star. Also, nerds in the crowd. There they are. You found them. All right. We don't have much time left, and I have so much music that I want to play for you, and most of it's going to get trimmed out. And that's sad, but it's also just the way that Fullforce radio works, isn't it? So I had some really intense music for you guys. I had some 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, I had some Triptychon, A lot of weird syllables with Y's and K's. I had some 𝖍𝖊𝖆, I had some 𝖊𝖕𝖆. I'm trying to decide. I wanted to play a track called Ice Cold Lust by Sabir. So, in the interest of playing something, to kind of fill out the last of the thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you guys some brand new 𝖊𝖆𝖆, and I'm going to play you a track. I'm going to finish up with a track by Swallow the Sun, and we'll save some of these other tracks for another night because, as you know, Full Force Radio goes every Thursday. So if you're here tonight and this is your first time, come back. If you have been coming back and I have been disappointing you, stick it out. Things can only go up when you hit the bottom, right, kids? If every show is the worst show I've ever done, every show could potentially only get better. And that is really... joke's on you. Joke's on you. All right, so listen, some housekeeping stuff I wanted to shout out because some of you guys have been subscribing for a couple months now. That's super cool. Thank you. This is a new thing. I'm just affiliate. I'm not really trying with Twitch, but this is something that's growing, and I haven't really kind of pushed on that, and I appreciate it. So if you didn't know and you have Amazon Prime, you have a free Prime sub. You can use that. You can subscribe. You can get some shit. You can be a cool guy who doesn't afraid of anything and also not spend any of your own money. So give me Jeff Bezos's money. I've been told to tell you this. A lot of you guys message me and tell me to be a better streamer. And I'm working on it. But I feel very uncomfortable asking you for anything. If anything, I should be giving you all the things. I'm not good at this. Just go with it. So I'm going to play you that new 𝖊𝖆𝖆 track if I can find it. Where is it? And we'll go from there. Yeah, free Prime sub. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can literally just go onto Twitch and you get one subscription for whatever you want. Anybody. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's pretty cool, actually. So, you may as well use the benefit. Okay. So I wanted to play that 𝖊𝖆𝖆 track for you. Do you think I can find it, though? Am I ridiculously dumb? I might be. Okay. Well, you've been a top tier subbed on OnlyFans for like 5 years. Are you suggesting be a true sub and give back? No. You don't sub... Sean, you don't sub to Amazon to sub to me. If you are already an Amazon Prime person, then use the benefit. Do not get Prime just to get a free Twitch sub. I don't know. Listen, I'm not your mom. Figure it out. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little thing. I'm gonna try and find this 𝖊𝖆𝖆 track. For whatever reason, it's disappeared off my radar, so I'm gonna have to search for it like a pleb. But that's no problem. It's a brand new track called Giving 6. Everybody in chat is suggesting that I have an OnlyFans. I do not. I wish I had both the body, the confidence, and I guess the whatever. Listen, take a joke. We razz on here. You don't have to explain that you're joking. I'm going to razz you. You're going to razz me. Everybody that's watching is going to razz each other. It's just big old razz pile in here. So it's the newest single is called Giving 6. 6 is my lucky number. I love 𝖊𝖆𝖆. Something. Progressive, genty, beautiful, instrumental elevator music. Yes, we'll do that. And then we'll do Swallow the Sun. We'll probably go a little bit over time. We're not on the radio anyways, so we'll get 2 more tracks and a little bit of lovin' here on Full Force Radio. almost jump out of my fucking skin every time that goes off during a song. There you go. Some fantastic sort of elevator-esque, gent progressive, bright, beautiful instrumental music. 𝖊𝖆 is an incredible guitarist. Lots of beautiful stuff. And I'm excited. Save the skin for the site. Only crims. Only crims. Listen! You know what? It's fine. Let's just continue on. We have one more track to play. So I was actually going to wear a Swallow the Sun shirt tonight, but I did not get my shit together, to be quite honest. I was more than on time for the show. I was streaming on time. I had everything prepped. I had all my gear done. I got the site. Everything was good. I had built the computer. Everything was running. I showed up, and it's almost like the radio station shit a brick. If you're listening and it's gone quiet, it's because I'm blinking confusedly into the camera. Blink, 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 blink. It's almost like the station manager is here now, and instead of doing his job, he's heckling me from the crowd. Blink, 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 blink. So, on the plus side, I have the music. I don't have the shirt to match, and that's no problem. So, I am going to play you a track by Swallow the Sun, and it is a really gorgeous... It's a really gorgeous album. It's a really gorgeous song. And I was actually going to play the song. There's lyrics on the back of the shirt, and they were a good fit with sort of all the kind of slightly dystopian but forward-thinking, happy stuff tonight. So I'm going to play you a track called When a Shadow is Forced into the Light. That was an album they put out in 2019. And I'm going to play you the title track, the lead-off track from that album. It's a little bit longer. It is a beauty. That's right. 3,000 blinks translates to save me from my fucking station manager. Blink, 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 blink. Yeah, well, listen, here's the deal. I do this. I'm going to have to demand a raise. I'm going to ask for 10 times what I'm being paid now. And since I'm being paid $0, there's a lot of zeros coming to me in my future. So let's do that. When a Shadow is Forced into the Light. It's the last track of the night. Swallow the Sun here on Full Force Radio. If you've been having a lot of fun, I hope you come back next week. Ideally, I won't die in Montreal, but it is the Great Heathen Army Tour. If I do die, I will go out with glory in battle. Or I got crushed while rowing the longboat in the mosh pit. It could happen. But if not, I will attempt to finish the Ace Ventura soundtrack. This is not that. There you go. Just barely snuck it all in. All right. So, last track of the night, Swallow the Sun, When a Shadow is Forced into the Light. My name is Crimson Clad, and this was a fun one. We didn't come into it with a lot of expectations, nor did we come into it with a lot of plans. We really didn't. You're going to see them in February. Yay! Fun! I don't know when they're coming our way next, but if you're going to see them then that means it'll probably not be too long before they're here, to be all honest. But yeah, there's lots of good stuff going on. There's lots of shows coming up. I'm very excited. Thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. I'm sorry things weren't live on the radio, but of course, you know I suck, but I am making a solid attempt to get these replays up on YouTube. Yes, YouTube sucks, but listen, doesn't matter. You'll be able to watch this again. I will try and get it done before tomorrow. My friends, I will be back next week. Now, I will say, unfortunately, Cyberbuzz, we're going to have to look at potentially changing the time, but the reality is this week I will not be able to do it because I will still be on a plane. I will be traveling on a plane to Montreal. So, unfortunately, you'll have to think of me, send me your thoughts and prayers again as I sew on the plane, and I'm going to have to go back and tighten all my spikes so I don't lose any in the mosh pit in the Great Heathen Army. But for now, I will see you guys next week. As per usual, I suck. It's hard for me to keep up with everything. Hey, Cassandra, hi and bye. It's hard for me to keep up with everything, but I will do my damnedest. If you send me a message or you reach out, it's entirely possible it'll take me a little while, but I listen to everything you have to say and I take all your feedback, and I am trying to make it the best for you. So, thank you for hanging out tonight. Sorry about the station. Next week, maybe, just maybe, I will do a heavy metal playlist based on the stupid Jim Carrey movie Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. I love you guys.